Winner bracket semifinal number 2, the Healing League, the Korean tournament continues. We have now Attack on Titan against Where's My Money? So Korean teams obviously again excelling with some of their names. I absolutely love it. Like every single time we have some interesting names coming through. And by the way, just to make this very clear, Attack on Titan is a different team than Beast Titan. So apparently both of them are Attack on Titan fans, but one team went for the actual anime name, the other one picked the character out of it. So we are in another best of 5. There are no draft rules, there are no shenanigans with pre-banned heroes, with heroes can only be picked once in a series or whatever. So in the last couple of months we obviously had a lot of these tournaments, but here it's just normal standard draft rules, nothing else. And we have a pretty decent chunk of prize money for this event as well. 3,000, 3,500, something along those lines. That's what the prize money is in euros. There's not that many tournaments, honestly, on the Korean server, or the Asian server these days, so this is a bit of an outlier, but good for them to have a tournament with decent prize money, so that it gets the players again into teams and to practice. And damn, they are picking quick, like what the hell? These guys are fast. Lucio early on Aldrich pass, we get Genji and Leoric. Now, again, best of 5, winner bracket semifinals. The winner of this moves on to the winner bracket final. The loser, on the other hand, is going to drop down into the loser's bracket, has another chance to make a run. We have now 8 teams in total that are still in the running here, but we'll see who's going to make it. We have some really interesting games already with some pretty cool twists. The 2 teams at hand, though, who's going to take it? That's the bigger question right now. We got Hogger, we got Sylvana, so for all direct pass you already have some decent wave clear locked in. You have also a tool to take down the camps that are super important. I asked the other day when we saw all direct pass if... Ooh, an ETC ban. Okay, didn't that have... That was not my bingo card here. I was thinking Nubarak. And Nubarak is big in the Western meta when you're talking all direct pass because he's so annoying whenever you spawn some beetles, distract the grunts and go for a camp advantage without having to move your entire team in. We haven't seen that yet in the tournament. So there are differences in meta between talents that are getting chosen, hero priorities. There's obviously a lot that is still going to be the same, but even if you just look at the bans here, we have Tracer ban, we have Zeratul ban, so obviously target bans are playing a role too. But now we're getting Stitches in game number 1. It's definitely somebody that I could have seen at some point later, but the Stitches right off the bat in the first game is already interesting. Together with Leoric, so Entomb as a follow-up, Brightwing with the Poly. We don't get, I don't know, Malfurion for an insta-root after the hook, but there's still a lot that they can do with this. And here's a Nubarak, okay. So, Dami is going for a Nubarak here, and we get Medivh. So, interesting lineup for them. Yeah. And Nubarak, again, can cheese a lot of these camps. The question is if they're going to try and use that as a tool. Falstad now with Stitches, meaning they can do isolation plays. Stitches, Hook, Gorge, Falstad gust the team away. You isolated the target and it can take it down. And you also have a global that can add you or help you in any of the macro plays that you possibly want to execute here, together with Brightwing, of course. Game number 1 in the best of 5. Winner bracket semifinal, ladies and gentlemen. Attack on Titan against Where's My Money? Attack on Titan on the left, running this with Hogger and Nubarak up at the front. Lucio for fast rotation, speeding things up a little bit for the team, and together with Medivh, he's going to be responsible to keep everybody alive. Whereas Sylvanas, as one of the main damage dealers, is of course also going to play a role in this. Where's My Money, on the other hand? On the right side of the map with Stitches and Leoric, and I already highlighted the fact that Falstad is going to be very useful for this combo after a Hook and Gorge if they want to isolate targets so that Genji can take it down. We get Brightwing as the healer, and that sets us up for the first game in this best of 5. Bit of a choo-choo train over here. Yeah, already like that. Some of the moments are kind of funny. Money pick is always the best. But there are still, by now there are some pretty decent mounts in the game. So let's see who takes the lead here. Who is able to claim victory in game number 1? Who has the goods? What are we gonna see in regards to macro performance? There's a lot of globals involved on the side of Where's My Money, so they can try and take some heroes down quickly with rotations of Falstad. They also have that Stitches hook factor that they of course would love to use here too. And on the other hand, we get Medivh. And Medivh, with just simple portal control and also shields, it can prevent a lot of this from happening. It's also nice when you can provide an escape route to a hooked target. But that's where Falstad really comes into it. And general portal control isn't really too bad for them there either. Our eyes, of course, on Medivh too, just to determine whether or not he's going to be able to get his baseline stacks completed. But either way, we now have down at the bottom of the map Genji playing this out solo against Lucio and Medivh. Camps have been taken by both teams, as already talked about in the draft. Hogger is great for consistently taking this camp and creating some mid lane pressure. And that's some really nice damage against Hogger, damn! That was pretty dangerous all of a sudden. It looked like nothing at first, and then the hook came through, and off we go. Dead Hogger was definitely a possibility. Yeah, so the hooks are still coming, but of course, once that he's level 13, that's when things will really get dangerous for the blue team, once that hook range is extended. We have a Nubarak also with a deep dive here, going straight for Underking as his level 4 choice. Medivh doing a great job already in stacks. I mean, he's sitting at 20, so he's nearly halfway done with this. And yeah, doing pretty well. Whereas down to the bottom of the map, we are still having Genji soloing this. So Genji is essentially a solo lane right now and can every now and then execute a rotation towards the middle to help out there too. But now that the prisoner camp is located, I want to see a Nubarak, I want to see Dami do a couple of things over here. So he could really start to cheese this a bit and give his team a lead when they don't expect it. Unless, of course, the red team is really diligent enough to consistently keep an eye on the camp. But there are options now. And he's already looking at it. So, yeah, he can definitely pull that off. Once that Leoric is at the top lane, he knows that everybody is there. He can definitely make a move like this. And I would expect that with the pick on Alderac Pass, they are interested in doing exactly that. But, yeah, time will tell. So Hogger is spinning on the left side to take the camp. The rest of the team is over here on the right and is doing the same. So it's all about that control. And Stitches and Leo, they still keep rotating around the prisoner camp. So apparently they're fully aware of what Nubarak could theoretically do here and want to make sure that that doesn't happen. The hooks, they connect, but there's no real follow-up. There's no, as I mentioned, Malfurion that can do anything about it with a quick route that he can put down. Level 7 talents are now kicking in, and on that end we're getting the critical mist, and we also get the boomerang for the birdie. So, nothing insane. Still the good vibrations. Medivh also able to get a few more stacks for himself. Is by now sitting on 26. Well, that's a pretty good progress that he has there. As long as he is able to get another 3. Needs to be careful with the shield, of course, now that he's this close to completion on the baseline talent. You don't want to all of a sudden die because you threw that shield out again for somebody else, unless you really had to. Brightwing forced to help out Falstad as Lucio is annoying the hell out of him. And already a bit of an advantage here for the blue team. So Nubarak doing exactly what we talked about earlier and sneaking the camp a bit, and that gave them a significant lead. So, yeah, well done. They're now looking at another 18 seconds. Hogger waiting for the spawn on the camp. I love how diligent they are on this. They are really, really disciplined about it, and I love that. You have to pay attention to it. They called out the timings, and you can already tell that there's a slight difference between the teams when it comes to those small things, because the red team isn't there yet. So they see the camp coming up, and now moving over. Genji misses us just a little bit, and they are themselves taking their camp, but they are several seconds behind the opponent. And now, since the attack is coming, they even have to give up on this. So this is a great position for Attack on Titan to be in. They are able to get value in the middle of the map just because they were fast on their rotation. They were a bit more disciplined there. And if they can also win this fight, this is of course going to add to it too. But right now, it's not quite there yet. So they got to retreat again. But this in the middle has to be dealt with, and that's where's my money is now coming in and starting to do their thing. But this costs time. All of this costs time. All of this makes things a little bit more tricky. Hook is out. Stitches a bit low. They want to go for him, and they drop everything they have, but they cannot get the kill, and it's said no! Medivh dies! Medivh dies! I can't believe it. Medivh goes down, and this just hurts. He's at 32 stacks, 35 at that point. And then he just gets caught and gets killed. 5 stacks away from completing his baseline quest, and they are following Stitches way too deep. They YOLO in, get punished. They lose a hero. Early level 10 for Where's My Money. And now, as you can see, it's even the objective that they might lose here. Oh, it's ridiculous. They barely are able to stop it. They get a kill on Leoric at least. The ley line way too late, by the way, to have an impact. But it seems that Attack on Titan might just still be able to get objective number 1. But Medivh, if I'm Medivh, I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. Oh, 5 stacks away. Yeah, 2.9 seconds away from winning this one, though, and I guess they're gonna get it. Sylvanas is coming in deep. They want the kill on top of it as well. They go for Genji. Can't get him. They got the camp. Maybe Leo. Nope, even he doesn't die. Hoga had to use his Horror Pull to get out, but they get the cavalry. Cavalry is in the house. Medivh is therefore continuing the work again. Slowly, steadily, hit after hit, working on his quest. I would be salty if I'm him. The only one dying in that fight, and yeah. But again, it is what it is. So now they just have to try to make the best out of the situation that they're in. Sylvanas is at the bottom of the map, and she ties down 2 heroes, since they of course know that she could crush one of those forts easily with the cavalry. But that creates a bit of an imbalance on the defender side here in the middle and up at the top. And I don't think that a fort is necessarily going to get destroyed here, but as long as they can do some serious damage on these things, then they're going to be fine. And that's exactly what they're doing in the middle. That's 30%, maybe 20% of the hit points left. Bot lane, similar picture, also a lot of damage done here. So they are able to get good value out of objective number 1. And Hogga is immediately back on the camp, starting to take this again. Brightwing and Falstad try to do the same thing over on the right side of the map, which brings us essentially back to where we were previously. Kill for kill, level 12 on each side. Genji is just double checking to make sure that Hogga is not sneaking in something real quickly down at the bottom of the map. And Medivh is back to 21 stacks. You gotta give him that. He is insanely fast. He's playing a very aggressive style with his hero and is able to get those stacks together quickly. But of course, he would have loved to be able to chip in a lot more damage by simply being able to do work with a completed quest cell and get that cooldown reduction, get that damage. But so far, that hasn't really been the case. It's level 13 now for both teams. Extra talents have already kicked in. Medivh, back in the middle here, has also now gone for the Enduring Will. And they hope to take a fort down. Genji comes through, try and help out, but they have Sylvanas, of course. She gets gorged, and a Cocoon as an immediate reaction by Anubarak to deal with it. So Cocoon has been used right away. They just simple portal out, they got the fort. It's all that they essentially wanted here, even dodging the Entomb in this case. And Medivh finds himself back at 30 stacks. Careful now. That's the moment when you have to be cautious. So yeah, Jackpot is sitting there. Is getting a few more hits in. 32, 33, and 34. Moves back just in time. I can't even look. I'm seeing him with his stacks, and I'm honestly like, I don't want to watch. 35. We're looking good. We're looking good, boys. I think that he has it now. I would be surprised if he doesn't lock it in. 37, 38, gets the ley line in just in case. Didn't want to get hit by the Entomb. Like, he is definitely careful now. Oh, he has a trauma. Full PTSD on Medivh. Just before the Entomb comes down, he goes and ley lines it. He's like, no, not this time. And now we have it. Baseline quest is completed. So, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sigh of relief here for Medivh. In experience, the red team is a bit farther ahead, Blue team is doing a really nice job though, controlling the lanes, I'd say. Now of course there's still Falstad to be considered, and he already flew towards the top to deal with this a bit. But where's my deep damage actually at? He should be pretty high. He's at 25,000. He's top damage in the game. And that's with him dying. Imagine him not dying. So yeah, he is already chipping in damage, has that cooldown reduction, can get those hits in very, very quickly. And they are hoping to grab another camp. We have the same situation, by the way, around the camps in the middle, because now we have these bad boys already pushing for the wall here, whereas the red team hasn't taken it. Red team has not taken their own mercenary camp, so a big problem. That Gust also didn't necessarily do Stitches any favors, did it now? Falstad is gone. Medivh going full berserker mode here and taking him on, and with the ley line, oh, they're going YOLO on that fort. 4 down, Stitches down, and I guess Leo is also gonna die. And that opens up a boss opportunity. So they can go for the boss. Actually, they can't, because, yeah, they took the objective. My bad. Objective has already been taken, so no chance to go for the boss just yet. But what else are they going to focus on? Seems like it's going to be the middle of the map that they're interested in the most. They're crushing it right now. They're definitely crushing it. Losing Medivh a bit earlier was definitely a setback, because they also lost the momentum in that situation. But now we're only 12 minutes into the game. Sylvanas is already pressuring the bot lane. They are here in the middle, trying to take this keep. And this is only objective number 2 that we're talking about now. So yeah, this is looking very good for them. Hogger is proxying some of the waves at the top. Will guarantee that the fort gets destroyed. Leyline is out. Yeah, and the keep has taken damage as at the bottom of the map. The wall will likely fall, but they are going straight for the middle again as Hogger is escorting the cavalry through up at the top. So they're actually abandoning the approach in the mid lane and instead portal towards the top side to unite with Hogger and now hope to take that keep down a notch as well. As I said, it's still early in the game. The cavalry doesn't really do that much damage yet. It's 16 versus 16. That gives us pulverize for Stitches. Leyline missing completely, but they're still pushing them back here. So they're sieging up heavily, and there's not a single fort that has been destroyed on the blue team side. So they are reigning supreme right now. Could of course change once there's a hook coming, but the good news is that Medivh is just cheating as usual and is hovering above. And as long as you have good vision on Stitches, you know exactly what's going on there and what to be careful about. So, yeah, stacks for Falstad also coming in, but he's only at 21,000 damage. Medivh is at 38k. Top damage dealer. Yeah, my man is definitely redeeming himself, isn't he? So, keeps an eye on everything. There's still 2 bosses up that nobody has made a move for yet. And Gust has to be used. Gast has to be used to prevent Falstad from dying to the portal play. Yeah, that's annoying. It's not a massive cooldown, but it's annoying enough to burn it away here. Especially since the opponent is already setting up another attack. So, yeah. The hooks, they keep coming. Prisoner camp located again. And it seems like they're going to try and go for bottom boss, or do they just play around experience until level 20? I mean, Hogger is coming down here. Medivh sees everything. I mean, this was very telegraphed. Red team, they know what's going on. So it was a very telegraphed play. And now they can portal this one out, try and see if they can win that fight and even get a few kills. Yeah, Stitches is already isolated from the rest of the team. They're trying to chase him. Not sure if they can actually get him here. Leyline is used, Stitches is caught, goes for Gorge, gets the Devour out as well, and immediately the Cocoon as a response to Gorge. So pops out Sylvanas, and now they can center the fight around Stitches again. Hogger has to hold it pulled away from this, and Stitches! Yep, Stitches is dead, and he's not the only one. Brightwing got hit by the Wailing Arrow of Sylvanas as well. Goes down 2, and all of a sudden we're talking 2 heroes dying, and maybe even Leoric dropping it. Yeah, Leorki is about to go down, and so is this keep in the middle. Sylvanas, well, actually they're not taking it. They got some damage in, but Sylvanas wasn't able to quite make it happen. And Nubrak then again is already channeling, so they're going for another objective, and lo and behold, they are about to hit level 20. And they're going for the boss at the top. They want everything right now. They want it all. And the bad news for Where's My Money is that they're going to get it all unless he's inting. Does he really not have his cooldown? Alright, gets the channel, prevents us a little bit longer. Good for him. get more of a progress. Hey, he's really buying some time for them, isn't he? They're still going for the boss here. They have a mad advantage on this too. Medivh should still be fine here. Yeah, another quick cocoon on Genji, but a bit too low. Doesn't change the fact that the boss is now taken and they can still fight for this. So they got level 20. Medivh cheating. Yeah, thanks Blizzard. Didn't have to spell it out. We already knew. This is not news to us. Played against the hero. And we got rewind. So, yeah, the defense is already started at the top. But they should go for the objective now. I mean, essentially, they have now level 20 advantage and you want to capitalize on it as best you can. So, this is the moment. This is the opportunity here. 7 kills to 1. Boss gets a little bit of damage in. Nubrok already jumping out. I don't think they can get the entire keep. But every bit of damage matters, and of course it creates space. It helps them to go for another camp, and that cavalry is gonna hit before level 20 becomes available to Where's My Money. Stitches is doing the only thing that he can do in this situation, hoping for a miracle hook that at least thus far he didn't land. But now there's another camp about to be stolen away from the red team. And that, of course, sucks quite a bit because this mid-game or mid-level, mid-lane keep is now under even more pressure. And all of this happening before the cavalry is even here. So lots and lots of damage done. Thankfully for Where's My Money, they're going to get level 20 in a moment now. Particularly important also for Stitches and Leo more so than anything else. Buried Alive and Wind Tunnel are already game changers. Brightwing is again welcoming the only kind of friends that Brightwing will ever have, the invisible kind, with level 20. And we got the hungry Stitches. So, here's the moment. 1 keep down, 1 armor shield removed on the core. If you really want to take the game, then normally what you're looking for is to at least remove 2. It's kind of risky with a core that regenerates hit points to play around a single armor shield that has been removed and 2 that are intact. So you want to do a bit more, and that's exactly what they're currently doing here, buying themselves all a little bit of time. Stitches already making his move. Okay, where's the ley line? Ah, gets gusted away, and that's a kill. No, it isn't Sylvanas. Sylvanas was able to get out. Are you kidding me? No way. Top keep has now been destroyed, and Sylvanas was able to bolt out of the fight. Insanity. Absolute insanity. I mean, check this out. Ridiculous. Look at this. She is able to get away, bolts out at the last moment before she falls. Core is now getting attacked already and takes damage. Has lost 2 armor shields, might even fall. If they just go in, they can take this thing down. And now that they have Stitches and also Leoric destroyed, there's obviously no way anymore. Brightwing is also dead. Falls dead. Yep, the chicken is plucked. And that is game. Game number 1 goes to Attack on Titan. Yep, they're going to take it here. The lead in the best of 5 series of the winner bracket semi-final as the blue team locks in the W on Aldrich Pass. Very solid effort. Top damage. Medivh, he died once, lost 35 stacks, but he definitely redeemed themselves over the course of map number 1. Nicely done, GG, and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Well, here we are, game number 2. Sky Temple is our second map, and Where's My Money is obviously hoping for the prize money considering their name, but Attack on Titan is the team that walked away with the first victory in the best of 5. And yeah, I'm intrigued. We'll go from Aldrich Pass straight to Sky Temple. Tracer gets banned again. Vala, this is a ban that I've highlighted several times because Vala is very highly valued on the Asian side. Much higher than she is on the Western side. So the Eastern teams, they really value her very highly, and normally she is an early ban. If not, then she is picked very quickly. We get Lucio as our first pick, which is another difference. I talked about it in the previous semifinal, I believe, that Lucio is one of the heroes that is a lot more valued in the Western scene than in the Eastern. That's why you see him played a lot, because when you're looking towards Europe, towards North America, he normally gets banned, but here he makes it through the ban phase fairly frequently. Sylvanas again, even on Sky Temple. Now, Sky Temple is obviously in and of itself very scripted in the way that the objective works, and just the nature of the beast on this map is that if you have a team that can really push structures hard, even without the help of the objective, once that you get an advantage there, you technically have to only draw even in shots fired through temples, and eventually you will win the game, which oftentimes then forces the team that is a bit behind to go for a Hail Mary move around the boss or some specific temple. So that's what we oftentimes end up with. So having a lot of macro control really helps you to drive the agenda and to force your opponent into having to take that fight that is working to their disservice. One of the things that always happens here is that people are talking about a team, how a team threw the game or went into a really bad fight on the boss being a talent down or something. But this is essentially what Sky Temple is about. You want to force your opponent into that decision by giving them no out. They have to take a bad one at some point, and that's what you're trying to force them into here. Zeratul gets banned last. We already have Tychus, another one that is much higher valued on the Eastern meta side than compared to Europe and North America. And well, with that, we now get the next two picks for the red team, who of course would love nothing more than bring this back now. You don't want to end up with an 0-2. Muradin and Genji. And we still are waiting for the main tank on the side of Attack on Titan. Jojo is up. You can play a Johanna. Bans only against Diablo and Garrosh, so Johanna would be a good choice for them. For sure. Depending a little bit of playstyle, obviously, right now, of course, what they want to do with this as well. But they need a bit more damage too. It's a Nubarak, so they want to be more aggressive. A Nubarak and Cassia, so with the Lucio rotation, we get Dami again on Nubarak, second time in a row that he plays him, and Blaze on the side lane for Where's My Money? Okay, Sky Temple, game number 2 in our winner bracket semi-final between Attack on Titan and Where's My Money. Let's go, boys, and let's see which team decides the second map in their favor. Sky Temple, map number 2, Tychus and Cassia, the damage dealers on the blue team's side. Get it with stacking Cassia, so she went straight into Lightning Fury here. Lucio for the heals and Nubarak and Dehaka up at the front line, whereas on the right side of the map, the challengers, so to say, after the outcome of game number 1, with Muradin Blaze. Good stuns, a lot of CC. Brightwing as the follow-up, and we get Sylvanas and we get Genji for damage. And of course, with Sylvanas, also a tool that can help you to take some of these structures down even faster. A bit of a meetup at the top for the temple, and everybody is just like checking this out, or for the watchtower. And down at the bottom of the map, everybody is just trying to make sure that Sylvanas isn't getting an easy shot at a free tower and takes the first structure out already. But that response was pretty much perfect. And this one also very strong. Genji gets out, but that was a close call. A very, very close call. So nicely done by the blue team. Immediately forcing Genji to top the fountain here. And that makes it insanely annoying for him. So some of the sustain already lost, and they are now the ones in the driver's seat. It's a bit early, of course, to say this, but essentially it's what's happening here. They made a couple of good choices, and now they forced Where's My Money to react to them. Which is pretty much exactly how you want the game to be played out. This is obviously going to change after the temples are getting announced, and things are going to shift here very quickly. But at least for the first 1-2 minutes, this is what is going on. Both teams now also trying to go for their camps. The siege giants are going to come in, but there's a bit of damage already done now at the bottom wall. Back in the day, when the hit points of the fountain wasn't tied directly to the forts, this would have been even more impactful than it is right now, because what you wanted to do there is take this fountain out before the second objective spawns. Now in this case, the consequences are going to be a bit smaller, but it's still something that will help them as they are trying to get ahead in the structure game. So with those temples firing against structures directly, you want to remove as much as you can there. So camps get claimed on both sides, bot lane also established. Cassia not really getting a whole lot of stacks just yet. Not a lot of skirmishes and opportunities for her to get level 1 stacks. Went straight into the inner light here. And we get the Under King for Anubarak so that he has, again, that dive range. And it is the top lane that everybody is now focusing on with the mercenary camp taken. As per our usual agreement, Master Assassin, it's all about the passive. You want to get the extra attack speed for Odin in particular. Interesting, again, also to note that we see consistently Tychus being picked as one of the main damage dealers. That has been a thing in the first round of the winner bracket, it has been a thing in the first winner bracket semi-final, and it is also a thing here. So much higher priority for him than on the European and North American side. Even though we see Tychus there every now and then, it is usually specific maps like Infernal Shrines where he sees picks, and nowhere near with the frequency that we're seeing in these games on the Asian server. Bottom of the map, Dehaka still hiding a bit. Trying to get the extra wave though, and then he can start to move over into the middle or even the top. So essentially the teams are exchanging some shots now. But yeah, Brightwing is at the bottom of the map. Dehaka is now rotating between lanes, and they can just try and get as many of these shots as possible while still playing around the opponent. Nobody has made a full commitment to any fight yet, so we haven't really seen anybody go in deep and get some kills. But it's just about, yeah, exchanging some shots, getting something done here. With the red team taking over at the top, the blue team is now trying to get value out of the mid lane temple and level 7 talents as they kick in for both teams at the same time. But they're not really contesting this at the top at all. So, yeah, the shots are still being fired there, and that's nice damage against the top lane forward. And the red team is immediately attempting to also sneak in a few more from the middle temple. So they're willing to fight for this. They know that they have to bring this back. Being 0-2 in the best of 5 is always a huge risk, and it makes it insanely difficult. Great stun initially from Anubarak. That choke point control is fantastic for them, and it allows them to take Brightwing down. First blood for Attack on Titan, and that means they're going to get some additional shots here and will be able to get some damage in. So yeah, nicely done. That was an important kill for them. They fell behind at the top. What is that? Below? Okay. That's some lazy Temple Guardian right there. It's a pretty interesting one. It's just like sliding through sliding through the map and the world like a force ghost or whatever. So yeah, either way, we now have them rotate back down to the bottom of the map for Siege Giants. Blue team is a bit late compared to what their opponents did. So yes, for the red team, we already have them trying to escort their mercenaries down into the wall. And they have gotten good damage out. They've also taken a lead in experience. So Where's My Money is a bit ahead in all of this. It's a bit too early, but I kind of like, again, what they're doing here. You have to see it from their perspective. If they fall behind 0-2, then it is going to get insanely difficult. And as long as they now rotate well, get in team fights, they're CC controlled, make sure that they communicate Stormbolt and Jet Propulsion well, maybe even the Critterize, and later on the Wailing Arrow, assuming that's what we're getting, which I think is a pretty safe bet, then they can do a lot here. But this little push at the bottom of the map, that could now become a problem, because this is exactly the position Attack on Titan wants to be in, and boy are they getting value here. Yeah, that's the entire wall destroyed easily, even forcing down Sylvanas. Beautiful play from them. That results in an early level 10, and they can damage the fort too. That was huge. That was big. Any structural damage you can accomplish without the objective is great, and they are not only taking the wall down, but they are seriously damaging the fort. They're actually taking the entire thing. So no matter how much Where's My Money nibbles around the edges with Genji in the middle taking some towers down, that just made all the difference here, and it is a huge change in dynamic and momentum for map number 2, particularly with Anubarak now starting to get a couple of shots fired. Now there's obviously still the chance that these guys are going to force him off, but every single shot that's fired is an important one. So he gets damage in up at the top. They're very careful now how they're moving out of this. He can just simply dive out. Not a problem at all. Doesn't even have to, but yep, Mirrodin forces him away. But up at the top, there's a camp coming in. Dehaka is gonna make sure that this one gets cleaned up, and then he can come down to the bottom of the map to help them in the team fight. So yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be really big right now. So with that said and done, here comes the move, and they're going straight in for Blaze, who will likely fall, even with him dropping bunker at the last moment. They should be able to get the kill, and yes, Odin dashes forward and takes him on right away. 3 kills to 0, full control over the bottom temple, and yeah, they could even go for boss here. Nah, boss is maybe a bit of a stretch. I still think they were for a moment considering it. But either way, Anubara gets a couple more shots fired. Red team is again making a rotation towards him. Could even get the kill now. Dami is diving out immediately, straight into the wings of Brightwing. But there's the rest of the team. They get some assistance, and all of a sudden this is not looking as promising anymore. Muradin is low. They're trying to also get Genji. Does he get the cooldown? Well, he's in trouble, and X strikes out. Cassia, not that much. Bit too greedy, my friend. Still gets a good amount of ult damage out, and they gotta retreat. And this is a 4 vs 5, by the way, because up at the top, the Haka is having a blast. He is using his PhD in PvE to take down another fort. So yeah, this is awesome. This is really, really great for him. So nicely done. 3 kills to 0, 2 forts destroyed. Yes, this is starting to hurt them. This is starting to hurt the red team a lot. They're trying to dive for Brightwing. That blink. Oh my god. Clutch. Very clutch. Damage output, 21,000 for Cassia. Top damage in the game, easily. And 2 more temples coming up. So now we're exactly in the situation that I was talking about earlier during the draft. We have a significant structure advantage for Attack on Titan. If they played safe, they can just exchange temples with the opponent, and then at some point they will lead in structures, they will lead in experience, and they will force Where's My Money into a really shitty fight. Very likely around the boss pit. And normally how that happens is that Attack on Titan is level 20, Where's My Money doesn't, and that's when the fight starts. So they're a little bit too late on this one as well. Cocoon is getting used against Muradin. They can even get the kill here if they want to. They're looking at exactly that. Wailing Arrow gets used, doesn't hit everybody, and it doesn't make a difference. Muradin is gone, didn't have access to Avatar at the time, so now it's not only a boss pushing at the bottom of the map, but they're also just trying to get more and more kills in here. This is an absolute disaster for Where's My Money. They're losing 2 heroes. Muradin is down. So is Blaze. Boss is already attacking. Temples are activating in 15. They can either push with this, and they, well, or they could just go for Temples, which is essentially what the Haka is doing. He could always come back down here and help them out. But with Muradin now slowly back, if they get another kill here, oh my god. Any staggered death now on the red team side would be an absolute disaster. Then they might even lose the keep, which normally shouldn't happen. But then again, those temples are up, and the Haka is probably going to move for the first one as we speak, or at least he should. He's pushing another lane out. There's level 16 talents available for the blue team too, so that makes things even worse. But yes, there's a chance now to go up to the top. Anubara is already at the bottom of the map, starting to fire shots against the bottom keep, so they have to stop that, and that's exactly where they're headed now. But it is just such a shitty spot to be in for them. The Haka at the top, he's going to channel this easily. Everybody down here moves back out. They don't even have to take that fight. They can, though. They have level 16 and a 2-level lead. The Haka coming down here is not a problem for them whatsoever. And there he is. They already go for Sylvanas. She's the first one to fall. And this is the problem for Where's My Money. They're being forced into one shitty fight after another. They don't want to be here. They don't want to fight this. They know they don't have a level 16. But if they don't do it, they lose the bottom keep, and they're losing more and more ground. So they have to make the bad choice. They lose 3 of their heroes in the process and have essentially not accomplished anything. They have not a single kill. They're losing the bottom keep regardless to the shots fired from the temple. And of course, at the top, we have another one. Genji, he has the mobility. He's gonna try and steal a few of those shots away from them. But it is an absolute nightmare for Where's My Money. I mean, Where's My Money, where's my kills, whatever you want to look at here, they are in trouble. Grenade hits Brightwing, but the Fruit Fly survives to be annoying another day. We're talking 3-level lead. 3-level lead. And they haven't even taken those remaining shots at the top yet. So that's the next one. They are opening this up. They're going to damage more and more of these keeps. There's camp after camp to be taken on the map. And the boss should be back in, I don't know, 2 minutes? Yeah, 2 minutes. So, things are bad. Things are really bad for Where's My Money. They need a teamfight victory. Essentially, that's what has to be going on. Win a team fight, take 2 or 3 heroes down, gain a bit of momentum and map control, and try to build on it. And they can do it with level 16, which they have now. But the fights have so far not worked out in their favor. But they need to look for a fight now. It's the only thing they can do. They're chasing that fight, and you can see they're desperately looking for it, and they go for the Haka, but they cannot take him down. He survives, Sylvanas is dead, Brightwing is gone, and now they're going to lose their tanks again. That front line is going to get destroyed once more. Bye, Blaze. And now it's Murden that can try and hop away from this, but his chances are slim to none. Murden is dead as well. 12 kills to 0. They have only lost a single fort at the top, and now the question is, what are they going to do? Straight away for the core? Are they going to go for the boss in a minute? Are they waiting for level 20? Are they playing it safe? Do they go for the keep in the middle? They're already starting to do damage all over the place here. Genji is the only survivor. In the middle, the keep is about to be destroyed. Down at the bottom of the map, they're trying to take the shield of the core down as is. Not sure if they can take it right now. They can definitely try, but they can destroy everything else in their path, and that's essentially what's happening. They have level 20 now. That gives them the big red button. We have 63 stacks for Cassia to boot, so they are looking fantastic here. And once the keep is gone, any shots fired from temples will go for the core directly. So this is already an absolute nightmare. And Where's My Money is 3 levels behind. They are talent behind, and they find themselves in the same spot they've been in the entire game. They have to take fights that nobody in their right mind would want to take. They got to. It's the only chance. They can't play it slow, they can't play it safe, but of course this is a huge gamble and it's not working out for them. Brightwing is the first one to fall. Sylvanas dies second, and now it's time for Blaze to bite the dust. Goodbye, my friend. Was nice knowing you. Temples are coming up, and the biggest problem for Attack on Titan is they have to decide how to end the game. Do you just right-click the core? Do you go for the boss? Or do you go for the temples? So many choices. And so little time. 15 kills to 0. They go for the perfect game here. It's ridiculous. This is the moment when you just tell your team, nobody die, please. We want the perfect game. So yeah, 15 kills to 0. 4 levels ahead. 16 kills now. This is game 2-0. The lead in the best of 5 hit the winner bracket semifinal. Attack on Titan absolutely crushing it. Game number 3, Towers of Doom. Alrighty, so a 2-0 lead for Attack on Titan, everybody. And we're going to Towers. Now, I gotta be honest, Where's My Money didn't really look good on Sky Temple. They had their troubles on the first map already, but there they had a bit of a better showing than what we just saw. That was a tough one. They were controlled from start to finish. They had maybe a moment in the early game where it seemed like, okay, they're bringing it back here and they're getting some structures destroyed. Genji moving from lane to lane, nibbling down on hit points at those walls and towers was nice. But after that, it was a really spectacular show from Attack on Titan, who did a great job controlling the flow of the game, taking structures down and dominating every single team fight. They didn't lose one hero. They had 16 kills at the end. I mean, even Tychus completed his quest, which in and of itself is already crazy. So, yeah. On the left, we now have Tracer banned. This is a pretty consistent ban that they've now shown. So there is definitely some preference bans. Some heroes or some players that you know on the other side that prefer certain picks and you're trying to take them away from them. Vala also again banned out, highlighting her importance in the Asian meta. And Diablo, he's getting the axe too. Now this is match point. If this game is being decided in favor of Attack on Titan, then we're gonna get some Titan on Titan action in the winner bracket final. And I don't mean that the naughty way, because we have 2 teams that seem to be fans of the anime. But yeah, the Beast Titan is waiting in the winner bracket final for their opponent. And it currently seems very likely that we're gonna get the clash of the fan base there. Now, Lucio already first picked on Towers of Doom, another big map. Obviously, could go Globals here, could get Dehaka. They go Genji, Blaze at first. And Dehaka is still a pretty good option. For Towers of Doom, always. You want to have the control. You want to be in a position where you can join those fights quickly. And there he is. Dehaka gets taken and we get Junkrat. I gotta admit that I already like very much what Attack on Titan currently does here. By no means are Genji and Blaze bad picks. I mean, Blaze is still one of the strongest side laners, if not the strongest. Dehaka I prefer a bit on Towers of Doom simply because it gives you so many more options in the fights around the altars and also just the general macro and map control. But we'll see where we're gonna get there. The last pick, or the last ban phase, what's it gonna be? We have now main tanks that they could get rid of, which is exactly what happens. And this is also really establishing a bit of a pattern. It's not only true for this series, but particularly here, the bans against Diablo and against Garrosh. We've seen it a bit against Capybara in the other winner bracket semifinal, and it really starts to showcase what are the priorities in bans for the Korean and Chinese players. Abatha banned out. Yeah, no Genji ever. You can really tell that Attack on Titan is looking at this right now thinking, okay, what are curveballs they could throw our way? They might catch us off guard a little bit. And that's always a big one. If this was a European match, you would see Vikings banned. But yeah, not so much. Now, Malfurion and Stitches. Makes me honestly a bit worried when I see something like this, because every time you pick a Stitches repeatedly and in the fashion that they currently do, it feels to me like you are very reliant on these hooks hitting and you getting that RNG hook. Now, I love myself a good Stitches, but seeing him now for the second time in the series by the same team, this is a good map for it. You have a lot of stationary targets when they're channeling an altar, so you can do a lot with it, but it makes me worried a bit. But they have a good follow-up. So last time they played it with Falstad, trying to isolate through Gust. This time they have Jet Propulsion and Malfurion Roots. There's something to be said about this, but Gorge will be countered by Inuburak and his Cocoon again, I would assume. So there's a lot of tools already for Attack on Titan where they can counterplay it as we get our final pick. And it is Chromie. Chromie's in. Game number 3. Match point number 1. Without further ado, Attack on Titan against Where's My Money? Game number 3. Match point number 1. Sylvanas and Junkrat responsible for the damage on Towers of Doom. We have Dehaka and Inuburak, and we got a Lucio to speed things up a little bit. Over on the right side, it's Where's My Money? I mean, honestly, every single time I see that name, immediately I'm jumping to Breaking Bad. Where's my money, bitch? And we get Genji and we get Chromie. So two very annoying heroes for damage. Blaze, Stitches, Malfurion building, I would say the... I mean, Malfurion isn't really part of the front line, but he's part of this like frontline duo as a CC follow-up that they're trying to go for here. So that's kind of that. But yeah, either way. Now that we're looking at this, we get the Patchwork Creation, we get the Time Walker's Pursuit, and yeah, a little bit of an attempt here in the middle by Blaze to stall things, but he's just now sitting here like, team, mistakes were made. So here we go. Yeah, nicely done. Down to the bottom of the map though, we got our two just pushing this out. In the early game, I really don't expect too many massive plays to be made. I think once the 1 minute mark pops, there could be a chance that one team starts an invade. I'm particularly looking towards the blue team there. So there's a chance that they're going to try and invade the camp, since Dehaka can move in and create a 5 versus 4 situation if they decide to do so. And well, what do you know? They're already laying down the mine. Get some vision over there and see what they can do with that. But yep, another camp about to be claimed. And do they? Nah. Well, maybe they do. But no, Inuburak isn't here yet. It's not going to dive. I don't think they're going to YOLO for this. The vision is there. And, well, actually, they want it. Dehaka could come in. A little bit weirded out by what they're doing here. I guess they are forcing just Blaze down to the bottom, but that was a bit tricky. And now there's a hook against Anubarak. I guess they're gonna get him out either way. But yes, they created some extra space for the Haka up at the top, so I think that's what they wanted to accomplish here. And off we go. So, towards the top, what we're getting right now, we currently have another camp about to be taken. This time it is the Haka who's trying to do his thing. And we have a Jackpot rotating over to help him out just in case that Blaze is going to have a look there. Then at the same time, we're having down at the bottom of the map another little play being made as the red team is still hoping to escort their own pumpkins into the structures. But I don't really think they can push this off against Sylvanas. That's not gonna be a thing. So, yeah. Quick hit there. Anubarak, careful. Chromie is starting to really do a number on him. And this is insane. He gets out with 30 hit points as Genji was hoping to follow up on this. And instead Genji dies. This must feel so bad when you're the Genji player. You're barely missing out on the kill. You had an opportunity here. And then, yeah, instead you don't get the kill, you die, your team is falling behind. Oh, God. And that all happens in game number 3 when you're already down 2 maps. That is just rough. Yeah, this is really tricky. So, yeah, either way, with that said and done, it's only a small thing, but of course it is going to add up over time if they can't get these kills. Now, a double altar for the blue team wouldn't be out of the question here. Shots are already being exchanged at the top left and top right, but this one is still being fought over. Stitches still hoping for some additional hook connects. Hasn't really gotten a whole lot. Last time they had, of course, Medivh to play against this, so another thing to keep in mind here. This time they can't rely on Bird Boy to get that done. But they pin the red team down a little bit. Sylvana's not really too worried about this, as you can see. And they go for Stitches again, trying to create some space for Junkrat, but Genji came in from the top and interrupted him when he started the channel. But while all of this is happening, the Haka isn't here yet. The Haka is using his global. The more time the blue team can force out of the red team, the better for them. Interrupt, not happening. Maybe a bit too late. The Haka, and he's too late. But they can still win the fight. They're trying, and they're getting Blaze. So Blaze is dead. And is it another kill? No. Nice Nature's Cure from Malfurion that was needed to keep Stitches alive. So they were able to do that. Still, the attacks are coming here as they go for a camp. They weren't able to get the shots, but what they are able to get, thanks to the 5 versus 4 situation in their favor, is another pumpkin camp. So they have a leading experience now. A few more pumpkins in. Can already push these lanes out further. Over here, the wall could also get destroyed, and the Haka is already back towards the top lane to push out another wave with ease. Over on the left side, it's the pumpkins that are being taken. And yeah, here we go. Camp after camp gets claimed. I think this is now... what is that? 4 camps against 1, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look at the experience, and yeah, a little bit more even. They were able to get more than that, so good for them. But then again, by now we have 2 kills to 0, half-level lead. Chromie, of course, already has her ult. And there we are. Entire wall has been destroyed, bot lane open. Now again, if you're not really familiar with this, bot lane is the most important on Towers of Doom. The rule of thumb is always that the lane that has the most mercenary camps travel through it is the most important one on the map. Because you can then set up pushes with those camps. Now, on Towers of Doom, this is even more important because if you have control over the spell tower and you get the pumpkins, you can get shots fired directly at the core. But take, for example, Dragonshire as another example. Bot lane also the one that most teams focus on, simply because you have 2 Siege Giant camps and a Bruiser camp traveling through the bot lane. Once that those structures are gone, you can set up pushes with 2-3 camps synced up properly, which just insanely hurt. Of course, in the case of Dragonshire, there's also the factor that the top lane is a bit more limited because of the choke point of the bridge. So there's a few things that play together there, but the rule of thumb is that more camps travel through a specific lane, the more important it is on that map. Now with level 10 in, no surprises there either. Now, of course, we get Gorge, as expected. Cocoon on the side of Anubarak. And they showcased in game number 1, where we had the 2 heroes go up against each other, already how well they're playing with Cocoon against those Gorges. So that's another thing. Now, one thing I want to point out too is we have now seen Dami 3 times on an Uberak. This is the 3rd time in a row that he plays an Uberak. And yep, there's the Gorge against him. Can't Cocoon if you're Gorged yourself, but he can dive out. Doesn't even have to use a cooldown on this if he has it. And now Junkrat, he might be the one that they have to shield a bit further, but they're still all fine. And while these little fights are playing out over and over again, and Dehaka in the meantime is just getting experience. He's just sitting at the side lane, helping the team out to attack those walls, get those minion waves, and do his thing. And it's working pretty well for him. He's doing a great job on this. There's a couple of camps still being taken here, but now with the next altar phase, they once again want the kill, and this time they might be able to take Lucio down. Lucio is gone, no counter kill. Here we are, first kill for Where's My Money. Yeah, that is looking much better for them now. Great timing. Just as the objective is about to come up, they get a kill. Lucio will be back quickly. Shouldn't really be an issue since it's only a double altar and both of them are top left, top right. So I don't think that they can capitalize on that, but at least they can hope to get a bit more map control down at the bottom of the map. Yep, shots connect. Both teams are going to be on 28 points now. So still dead even on that account. But level 13 is getting closer. Level 13 is coming closer for the blue team. It's a small window, but it's still a window they have. And of course there will be level 13 also with a hook extension for Stitches, who's now in real trouble potentially. Yeah, gets immediately trapped, booped out, stunned in tower range, body blocked, and is dead. They wanted Stitches, they got Stitches. And I kind of feel a bit bad for him, honestly, because he pretty much couldn't play the video game for a couple of seconds. Take a look at that. He gets just bullied around, cocooned, booped, stunned, pushed, tower range, slowed, and then eventually he dies. So, yeah, poor guy. Couldn't really do anything there. Just gets absolutely murdered and bullied around, so feels bad, man. Gotta feel sorry for him. Now, either way, they're chasing Chromie as well, and yeah, timeout for a long time. Does it change anything? No, it doesn't. Sylvanas on point, comes in, hits the arrow, and that is the end of the gnome. The fake dragon is eliminated, and Junkrat survives again. You are kidding me! Like, what? Their survivability is crazy. And Dehaka is just playing a solo game. He's going to the top, he's taking another camp, he's getting some pumpkins connected. So now they get the shots over here, towers are all down. It's a double altar at the bottom of the map, and well, they are an entire level ahead right now. It's really Dehaka just getting endless experience for the team while this happens. Plays a bit higher. Okay, once again, Junkrat slowing this one down. Here comes a new Barak. They could save Junkrat maybe, but nope, Genji is faster. Gets the kill. And now it's a 5 versus 4 again. One channel has been completed, so the blue team will at worst draw even. 24 for both, potentially. And Dehaka is just like, you know what? I tried this thing where you actually like fight other heroes. I hate it. Minions don't fight back all that much, so I'm back to top lane. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna do my thing. And yeah, that's exactly where he is right now. Back towards the top lane, helping the team to get towards level 16. Even the camp is taken, each team gets one. Now technically, Where's My Money could have gone over here first, try and steal this, and then fall back and take their own. They didn't. Great move also with his ulti by Hikaru, making sure that the hook did not connect with Sylvanas. So yes, very, very well done. Using the high five here to prevent the hook from having an impact. And now they got level 16. Epic Enter has now been chosen as the next talent, so that Nubarak can epically enter the opponent's backline. Easy peasy. Blizzard in all those years has still not corrected the spelling mistake. Like, there's a typo, obviously. They're missing the space between the two words. So a little bit unfortunate by them. Maybe we're going to get a bug fix from them sometime soon. But yeah, this has been going on for a while. I highlighted it a few times already, but yeah, they just don't listen. So Blizzard, if you are watching, please Correct your typos. Correct your typos. Gorge is in again. They get a Nubarak. Okay. Straight into the root and goodbye. This is the kind of plays that they want. This is exactly what they want to get. And they got a double kill. So it's a Nubarak and Lucio that are both down. They might get that counter kill, and they don't. This time it is Blaze that walks away with a sliver of health. I like it. And with 5 seconds, triple altar phase, guys. What's happening here? Is the red team all of a sudden bringing this back? This is looking good for them. They're going to get 2 out of the 3. Easy. So they are taking the lead. 16 points to 20 is what we're going to be at in a second. I like it. Where's My Money is fighting back. They're landing these hooks all of a sudden. I was a bit skeptical. It felt desperate. But at least for now, it's working for them. They got 4 kills to 4. And they have also nearly caught up in experience by now. Taken the lead in core points too. So things are still looking okay. We're not quite there yet, but they are doing some solid work on this. So again, the attacks, they keep coming. We have them now pushing through in the mid lane. Next altar phase is going to spawn a single one that they can fight over. They're still a slightly inexperienced that essentially could help them to an early level 20, but this gap is small. Unless they're winning a couple of team fights in the meantime, I don't think it's going to be of any massive consequence. The Haka is getting away from this. They are still hoping to get the camp at the top, but we have now several towers of the red team that are very low. Like, all 3 are essentially at half HP. That's the only thing that worries me a bit from their point of view, because if there is a snowball, if there's a big fight, for example, that Attack on Titan wins, they can technically go from one to another and really try to take them down quickly, and that has to be the game plan here. So Sylvanas gets out, Hook misses this time, and they can go for Stitches, and immediately they're trying to isolate him again. But it's not enough to do serious damage just yet. And Blaze is coming. Blaze wants the 5 versus 4, but cannot quite force it, as the Haka is still dealing with pumpkins up at the top. The gap has nearly been closed. Experience very even. This fight here could determine a lot. If Attack on Titan wins it and is able to convert a few of these bell towers over, then this might become... It could become another snowball. That's essentially what's happening here. Interrupters there. The Haka. Yes! They go for Malfurion. First the stun from Nubarak. Then the Haka says hello. They blow Chromia up quite literally. The dwarf is gone. And yep, that is now the end of Blaze, I guess. So, Blaze is eliminated. It's a triple kill. Triple kill, Junkrat at least gets murdered over here on the right side, but it doesn't really change the fact that it's a 4 versus 2, and now with Sylvanas you can take these bell towers if you want. They take the shots first, so now we're dead even again on core points, but if you really want to convert some of these bell towers over, now's the moment. This is your time to shine. That bottom one is gonna fall. The one in the middle, yeah, the Haka is already pressuring it again, but Stitches, for example, isn't even trying to defend at the bottom of the map because he knows 100% this isn't working. You can try to hook and then gorge and get somebody escorted over into the death zone, but even that's a stretch. And now they're moving over towards the middle, hoping that they can convert this one as well, I suppose. So yeah, burn this wave down. Immediately going for the bell tower. Sylvanas comes in with the damage. Easily done. The Beetles are soaking up all the shots. And this is now a 6 versus 2 bell tower situation between the two teams. And since the blue team is trying to defend at the bottom of the map, they still have to be careful of Stitches. If they can kill him here, that would be amazing. Then you don't have to worry about these hooks anymore as they're trying to defend your bell tower. And they get that kill. They get that kill. This is such a bad spot for Where's My Money. And that in a game that first of all, it matters a lot. If you lose here, you're in the loser's bracket. You drop down. But also, they were in such a good spot earlier. Now it's level 20 versus 20 any moment. They're even trying to go for the full on... Well, nah, they can't. Okay, mid lane is taken, so they can't go for the full barrage. But they have now started to take control over the top lane again, and those pumpkins are going to establish that easily. Also over here towards the left, Sylvanas is currently doing her thing, is getting another one. Stitches is not back yet, and Nubarak is defending the bot lane as best as he can against the range damage. Top lane has been converted over. And if they channel it quickly, then that's 6 points of the red team score, which would put them very comfortably into the driver's seat for game number 3. Yeah, one pumpkin even made it through. Shots are fired, a bam, and we're down to single digits. 9 points to 16. Lucio gets out. Stitches still looking for Hoga, I suppose. Yeah, they should just let this slide. There's nothing they can do. This one is going to be retaken. They can buy a bit of time for the Haka, I guess, here in the middle, but that is the best that they can hope for. So as is, we are looking at level 20 on both sides. Serenity is in, Hungry Stitches, the Piercing Sands. And here we go. We got 8 kills to 5. Still a slight advantage in points or in bell tower control. And a double altar coming up next. So while the red team is trying to take the top, the blue team has now decided that they would really love to get control over the bottom of the map again, and I don't blame them, because the next two altars are very close nearby, and if they can deny that fountain to the red team, that would be amazing. That would be really fantastic, and they take it. If they can claim this one too, that would be a nightmare scenario for Where's My Money, because they don't have a lot of escape paths any longer, if that happens. But even without it, the bottom altar channel is pretty much guaranteed if you keep this position up. It's 30 seconds that you have to hold. And yep, they are already getting a few more hits in. Genji jumping out. Yeah, this is gonna get clutched. The Haga is back towards the top. They're just trying to play around Stitches as best as they can. And there's just shot after shot fired. This is one grenade short of falling. One grenade is all they need. Look how they're zoning them away. It's full zone control right now. That's what they're hoping for. They have to be so far out here. Hooks are telegraphed at the bottom. I can't believe nobody's at the bottom, by the way, to immediately get that channel. The Haga's coming in right now, but they should have gone for that first altar channel right off the bat. If they win this fight, though, then it's over no matter what. Hungry Stitches. 1, 2, 3. Isolation missing completely. Rest of the team is back out. Nobody has channeled anything just yet. But they're going for Malfurion, and the old geezer is gone. Malfurion is dead. Dehaka still doing his thing on the right side. Down here, Genji gets killed, and now they just need to channel it through. Both of them have already started. This is the end of the winner bracket for Where's My Money. The shots are fired. The game is over. A 3-0 victory for the blue team, as they send Where's My Money packing into the losers bracket. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.